You know, the media for the last 2 days says that I'm just telling all these things about Egypt to frighten people. No. I'm just telling people the truth that no one in the media wants to tell on the other networks. If that frightens you, well, that's your choice. I hope it motivates you to learn more and then prepare yourself. But just in case you've been watching all week and you haven't been frightened yet, oh, you will be. You will be. Yes? Yes. Oh, stop. Stop it. Hello and welcome. Hello, America. It's been quite a week. Egyptian protests began last Friday. The only thing the media told you when they first began was the protesters were just a bunch of happy-go-lucky freedom lovers, and that's it. Just a bunch of average, everyday, peace-loving Egyptians who suddenly, after decades of Mubarak, spontaneously decided to take to the streets and start rioting. I warned you, not true, and that violence would soon follow. Wasn't long before the reports of 3 dead protesters and 1 dead police officer came in. In the next day, there was over 100 dead. And that was before the pro-Mubarak thugs came onto the scene. When they did, that's when things really got out of hand. Now it's out of control. Even journalists aren't safe. They're being attacked, they're being beaten, intimidated, in some cases jailed in Cairo. Let me give you a couple of them. Fox News' Greg Palcott and Olaf Wig. They were severely beaten and hospitalized after a huge crowd turned on them. There were 30 protesters and military officers helped saving them. Palcott described his attack saying, quote, when a Molotov cocktail smashed through the window of the room we were in, spreading gas all over the floor, we decided we weren't going up in flames. We decided to make a run for it. We rushed down the stairs and out into the street. It was nothing short of a battle zone. He described that smoke filled the air and fighters scrambled back and forth across no man's land between the two sides, hurling rocks and gas bombs and other projectiles. Burst of gunfire crackled through the night. It was at this point that Greg and his crew spotted in the street an angry mob, and the angry mob spotted them. He said they hit us with their open hands, their fists, their sticks, bars, rocks, whatever they had around, especially aiming at our heads. They grabbed at us and punched us. Several dug through my pockets, all the while screaming madly in our faces, but we still pushed on. As if this story weren't bad enough already, after they were treated at the hospital, they were held by authorities who photographed them like they were part of a prisoner lineup. This isn't the only network that's been attacked. All of them have been. Anderson Cooper, a good friend of mine, has been attacked now twice in 2 days. He was reporting when someone tried to grab their camera. They got it back. The crowd turned on his crew. He was punched at least 10 times in the head. Christine Anampour, she was interviewing protesters and they got angry and turned on her. They said to her they hated America. Katie Couric couldn't even finish a report because the crowds kept mobbing her. There's more. It happened to the Greeks, the Canadians, the Turkish, all the journalists from anywhere around the world. This is not a picnic. This is chaos. This is what a revolution actually looks like. It's not fun and games, but yet it's still been sanitized for our consumption. This is not about freedom-loving people just wanting to be free. This is a complex story. You've heard the protesters, not all of them, but many of them hate America. They don't want to be like us. They want to kill us. And quite honestly, with our record in the Middle East and those who we cozy up to and give money, I kind of understand that. We told you this week how if Mubarak does step down, however, the Muslim Brotherhood would be the most likely group to seize power. They've openly stated they want to declare war on Israel, and they would end the peace agreement with Israel. And they would work towards instituting something we told you about, a caliphate. A caliphate. I asked you on this program on Tuesday to look it up. Google Trends, after we mentioned it. Number 1, caliphate In case you haven't looked it up yet, please do, and do your own homework on this. Don't take anything I say at face value. Please know these things to be true for yourself. A caliphate is a system of government established in Islam. It's governed by Islamic law, otherwise known as Sharia law. All Islamic governments would unify under this caliphate. One new world order. Gee, why should you be worried about that? Well, we already have it happening in some parts. We have Islamic law happening in some parts around the world, including America. How about honor killings? That's part of Sharia law. Disgrace or dishonor the family and you can be killed. Mostly it's just, you know, women and girls that get killed. The UN says honor killings are all too common in the Middle East. Really? How about this one? There were 2 cases that went to trial here in the U.S. last month. What can you do to cause dishonor to your family? Well, you can dress inappropriately. You can, choose to get married yourself, marry by choice, or ignore an arranged marriage. You can have sex outside the marriage, in extreme cases, even non-sexual relationships that are perceived as inappropriate can get the young girl killed. Oh, and of course, being gay gets you killed. Some of the methods to carry out these killings include flogging and stoning to death. Did we get the pictures of the videotape? These videos are out in America, and maybe more people should see them. If you get caught stealing, they'll cut your hands off. This is what groups like the Muslim Brotherhood want. They believe the Quran teaches these things, and that's why they hate us, because we're infidels, and they'll stone us to death. Oh, I'm sorry. You're not afraid yet? You will be. Last night I told you about Islamic socialism. Islamic socialism. You look this one up, the caliphate. Did you look up Islamic socialism? Here's the Google Trends chart yesterday. I love, there's the chart. Go back to the other, here it is. Islamic socialism, #1. Can you take that piece off and show? Because all of them were Islamic socialism, socialized Islamicism. It was everything from this show, including Code Pink. Almost, I think it was 8 out of the top 10. Thank you for doing your own homework and working this program. Islamic socialism is an old idea, but it's new to most Americans because the media has never bothered to even investigate or admit that it even exists. You investigated it last night. The Google Trends for yesterday, either, the Real Housewives TV series just added Code Pink and Islamic socialism editions, or the audience is serious about educating themselves. I believe America is hungry for the truth. The left in the media have rushed to call this program crazy, without, of course, the facts. Because, well, the facts are on our side. As always on this program, we look for the facts. And I don't just tell you the facts, I give you the facts in their own words. I want to show you the left and Islamic radicals in our own country speaking together, side by side. Here it is.
Israel is a terrorist state.
A nation based on killing and hate.
Sisters and brothers, comrades in struggle, there is no greater sight than to see a sea of militant anti-imperialist faces.
There is a simple message for the terrorist state of Israel. You're born by the sword. You live by the sword. You will die by the sword.
That videotape goes on. Check it out at glennbeck.com. It goes on for about 6 minutes, and it's all of the big left organizations right there with all the big spooky Muslim organizations that we told you about yesterday that are affiliated here in America with the Muslim Brotherhood. Let me give you this one. Egyptian Revolutionary Socialist member speaking out at the British Socialist Workers' Party. Watch.
If Egypt falls, the entire Middle East is going to fall. We have the biggest working class in the region with a long and militant history of industrial struggle. And we are very optimistic about the developments in the future. You have at least 2 generations now of revolutionary socialists in Egypt who've been mentored in the IS Strategy and Tactics School. And we hope in the near future that we're going to witness the revolution.
This is not something that just came about last Friday.